ball game and a great way to start the college soccer season here on SEC Network. Good touch away by Kennedy Price. Malsom and Penny both starting the second half for North Carolina over Bradley and Gattino. Those subs were made in the first half and will carry over. This up to Riley Kennedy. Kennedy unloads. That got blocked. It's still on for North Carolina, but touched free by Tennessee. The holdup at the halfway line broke down. Kennedy carries forward again. Into Thomas. Snaps wide. It's Olmark. Penny. And that's caught by Norris. Came up by the shoulder. There was something a little unique about that catch.
Good passes to play from UNC. Starts with Mara commandeering possession, kicking it out wide. And again, the Tar Heels trying to make the most of their possession in those wide channels, stretching Tennessee's back line across, trying to work an opening in central areas.
Out into space. And it's dealt with by Leah Brooks.
I've been really impressed by Leah Brooks, and in coming into the second half, she has adapted really well. She was a bit deeper in the first half, but seeing how aggressive Tennessee was with those longer passes to break through counter pressure, she started to be a bit more proactive, higher vertically off her line to just quell any mounting counterattacks from the Volunteers.
I'm guessing it's because she was born in New Jersey that you feel that way?
Yeah, all good goalkeepers come from New Jersey, Mike. You didn't know that?
Yep, you, Tony Miola, yeah.
Yeah, it's a breeding ground. Casey Murphy.
Yeah, sure. A couple years at Washington State as a backup and under pressure now. That hit off the outside of the post. Has already played more minutes today than the rest of her college career, and Shea O'Rourke almost made Carolina pay.
And we haven't seen it quite yet from Tennessee, but they want to instigate their press a little bit higher so they can progress up a shortened field. O'Rourke making something out of absolutely nothing. A toe poke as Tar Heels get good pressure on O'Rourke in a transition moment.
Right here, Blue. Right here, Blue.
Notably, Kylie Simmons, unavailable player who can stretch things, actually scored against North Carolina as a freshman at Mizzou. So O'Rourke provides the speed up front and providing the pressure now, unrelenting on Brooks. Alvarez. Brooks, by the way, born in New Jersey, raised in Hawaii, finished her high school career in Oregon, played at Washington State, and now at UNC. Unfortunately, Marissa Chirac, who was in from Yale and sat last year, Gagne owned that position, ultimately injured her knee a couple weeks into summer and opened up an entirely new goalkeeping competition for North Carolina beyond the one they already had. Set piece here for Tennessee. 3 of their 4 shots coming since the 35th minute. Header across the face. Price chasing it down, and it's slashed out of play for a corner. This is really good from Tennessee.
Tennessee's best opportunities tonight coming from static ball situations. There's a corner kick in the first half, then from a goal kick, which they were able to high press, this time from a free kick. This Tennessee team has aerial threats. They are looking to convert on these types of chances.
Here's the corner. Header leading atop the 6. Ball blasted away. There's a blockade in front of goal of Tar Heel Blue. Latino whipping the cross. And now Thomas can pick her head up, and the numbers are decent. Fossey leading Olmark. Clever touch inside. And that last step was a necessity. Threading for O'Rourke. That broke down, and suddenly there's a ton of space out here to run into. Devi turns toward frame. Devi, end line, cut back ball atop the 6. And the player who scored 20 goals this season ago couldn't quite make contact. O'Rourke snaps it outside to Mattern. The shape for Tennessee got all out of sorts there for a moment.
Well, they need to take a breath and just calm the tempo down. Luciano Latino having to be thrown out of a central area out to defend Bella Devi in the wide channel. not a matchup that you want to be able to see, but some physical play here from both Carolina and Tennessee.
By the way, I've been hesitant to say Carolina because I know the Gamecock fans are going to be like, excuse me? And just, you know, everyone in the SEC is looking around.
Well, let's just make it happen, Mike. Come on.
I love all the Carolinas equally.
Get them on the schedule. Make it happen. You were friends with everybody.
Yeah, I don't know that I can get that done. This ball snapped away. South Carolina and Clemson, of course, the great SEC, ACC, Palmetto State derby.
Listen, it can just be a pickup game. You and I can call it. We can get Corey Rockwell to referee it.
If we could be so lucky. Somewhere Cat Whitehill is yelling at her TV, there's one Carolina. UNC preseason #1 for the first time in 5 years. They are fully back, and their first national championship to break a 12-year drought back in December. There truly is only one as far as legacy programs. They've won more than half the national championships in women's college soccer history. Here's Debbie. Hopes to add her mark to this group. Now Munson. Comes to Thomas, advantage played. And advantage dissipates.
And that's going to be one of the greatest skills that this UNC Tar Heels team tries to refine as the season goes along, and it's patience. Because you see an opening, you get into some good space on the field, and you are a player with an exceptional talent, and you feel like you need to use it every single time. And the discernment is something that this team is going to have to continue to look at game in and game out. Should we have gone there? Should we pull it back and circulate? And something that Damon Neha said is we can just master the simple things. The simple things can allow our special qualities to flow even greater.
Yeah, not enough coaches take that approach. Yeah, he said fall in love with the simple, and the special will come out at the right times. And when you have a team with this much talent like North Carolina does, simple can often be quite difficult. Ball through, and Munson able to glide by Mattern, who makes her pay a pretty significant price for it at the end. And she's down. Mattern just trying to press this all the way to the end line, and ultimately sort of tumbles over her, and her leg gets caught awkwardly.
Well, the sequence starts with a good old bait and switch from the Tennessee Volunteers. They build up their left-hand side, quick change the point of attack out through Jenna Stayard, and that allows Reese Mattern to get 1v1 against Hope Munson. And in the end, it did look like a reckless tackle. The ball was going out of bounds. There was no way that Mattern was going to have an opportunity to win the possession.
The last thing you want to see on opening day, and we've been around this sport long enough, you come in and you talk to Damon Nahas, goes, Hope is going to play a big role for us right off the bat. And if you pick up any unfamiliar feeling, trying to spring O'Rourke. This team's last Med opener in 2022 was Kate Fosse's first collegiate game. Reigning National Player of the Year now. Finished 3-0 August 18th of 2022. Avery Patterson scored in that game. Sam Meza had an assist in that game. Macy Bell, Maddie Darlene, Emmy Allen featured for North Carolina. Zazara and Midgley both played in that game for Tennessee, still on the squad. Fusco, Huff, some top players. Hopefully in 4 years we'll look back and say something similar about this matchup. 10 minutes into the second half, and it's still scoreless at the moment.
And I don't want to let this moment bypass because Leah Klurman just did a fantastic job with her timing of stepping in with Olivia Thomas in central position to get pressure, deny her turning and running at goal. And that's something that she's continued to improve on in her game. Yes, she has the passing range, but can she steady the team's defensive side of the ball as well? Already showing good signs in the second half.
They've had some amazing center backs over the years here at Tennessee, and this duo has coalesced pretty well. Good leave into the penalty area. This deflects for a corner. And it's Malsom creating.
Good little interplay there with Kate Fossey. Malsom gets around the edge, but it's, in the end, good recovery defending for Miller. She doesn't give up on this play, hustles back, leaves both feet to block that cross and stop the supply line from coming across the face.
Look inside the mixer. Lauren Malsom. That bounces high. Kennedy was contemplative. Comes over to Thomas. Sometimes better safe than sorry. And a reminder that those seats do come at a cost. It's free to get in, but you could just as easily get belted up there.
I think they should give out goalkeeper gloves over there, just in case.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah. I'll look it up.
I feel like you want that GBO shirt.
I need it in my collection.
Here come the heels. Debbie. They broke Tennessee's counter, and now Debbie carries forward. Out to halfway. This is going to be onside. Brooks off her line. She's been rounded. Picking her head up. Goal! 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 Tennessee! Oh, that is wild! O'Rourke, what an incredible return to college soccer. And what a debut for Tennessee! And the Volunteers ahead of #1 North Carolina.
Well, this is a great illustration of what both coaches were talking about at halftime. Nejas talked about conceding possession too easily, driving in central positions when we have support out wide. And it's good defensive effort from Tennessee, and Shea O'Rourke making that willing run in a counter-attacking moment without Hope Munson completely takes advantage of the space in behind the back line, rounds Brooks, who doesn't impact the ball. She's outside the penalty area. If you come out without your hands, you have to impact the ball. Shea O'Rourke still work to do once she gets around Brooks, slides this one past home. And that's exactly what Joe Kurt was talking about, making those counterattacks more meaningful.
Shea O'Rourke, 12th career goal and the first in 2 years. Thomas bulldozing and commits the foul. All right, we talk about 9 underclassmen starting for North Carolina, about how Champaign fizzles out over an offseason. Even Damon Nejas said, it felt like the offseason went by in a blink, and he almost gave more credit to Anson Dorrance because he went through it so many times. You're throwing out the first pitch, and you're kissing babies and shaking hands, and there's so much to do. And then you got to get back to work, and it's with a totally new group. And now they go down a goal in Knoxville. We're going to learn a lot about North Carolina, and I think as far as Tennessee goes, they only gave up 10 goals over 18 games last year. They gave up 10 in the other 2, if memory serves. Maybe it's 3. Point being, now you find out about your defensive stability, whether you're up to this kind of challenge.
Well, this is going to be a long 30-plus minutes of Tennessee Volunteers' defensive wherewithal, because this is a UNC team that can make something out of absolutely nothing. And now this is going to be a test of adversity for them, especially with all of these young players. They're going to rely on a history of being able to be gritty, the mentality in which they employ for so long, and has garnered them 23 national championships. This is a good test early on for both teams.
The sides don't meet all that often, but it is the first lead for Tennessee against North Carolina since 2000.
NCAAs, they were down 1-0, came back to equalize, ultimately ended up losing 2-1. But that goal was a great example of the way that Tennessee can play through their lines. It was a quick combination play, get it out wide, and then bring it back into a central position. And Kennedy Price isn't necessarily known as being an attacking fullback, but made that willing run onto the back post, was able to one-touch tap it in. But you see elements of that tonight from this Tennessee squad, but then you add in the counter-attacking opportunities that they've also created through O'Rourke, through Mattern, and it just allows Tennessee to attack in more variable ways based on the opposition that they're going to face, because the SEC has a ton of different types of strategies and styles within it. So on Thursday, you can see a possession-oriented team. On Sunday, you can see a physical, battle-tested, heavy, high-press type of team. Tennessee is finding ways that make repeatable chance creation independent of who they're playing.
Inside 20 minutes to go. Shea O'Rourke the go-ahead in the 57th minute. Which still feels inherently weird to say in a Tennessee game. Debut game for the Vols. They have just scored one of the goals of her life. Carolina inside 20 minutes to respond. Rolling out toward halfway. Play broke down. Thomas taps it through. Fossey. There's Norris.
And this is who the Tar Heels will want on the ball inside the penalty area. It's Kate Fossey. It's a bit of a speculative effort from a narrow angle. Those are those moments they can look to be more patient to create an upgraded scenario rather than just settling for something that's never truly going to test Kaden Norris.
There's a yellow card. That's Stayard.
Here's a look back at that. Stayard beats two Tar Heels players. Just draped all over the back.
There must have been something after that. She must have kicked the ball something. That's certainly not a card on her for any other reason. Off the restart. The sun is set. We're under the lights. This mid-August affair. Thomas is sprinting past everybody.
I know O'Rourke has the goal right now to put Tennessee up, but Clurman's my player of the match right now. In the first half, she was electric in terms of her stepping into the midfield, get pressure. She completely neutralized the influence of Olivia Thomas in that first half. In the second half, hasn't had nearly as many touches on the ball as well.
Toward frame, Norris able to knock that down and cleared away. Swing the door open, foul one, and Norris, strong hands getting down to swat this out.
Thomas creates a 2v1. That leaves space at the edge of the box for Bradley. She dribbles into a more central position, tees up her left foot, forces Norris into a save, which she puts back into a central position on the field. Tennessee wise to it. They know they've got to defend their area tonight, win first and second balls. That's the first time tonight Norris has been challenged.
And if she doesn't get enough of that, or you don't have someone there to clear that off the six, it's just the most lethal goal scorer in America last year who was waiting at the opposite post in Fossey. Some subs coming here, and we can remind you the SEC volleyball season preview show is Friday night. For the first time in conference history, all 16 schools represented. The SEC Now crew will break them all down. It's a 1-hour special. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Missy, Leah, Peter will bring you through all 16. Of course, you and I were driving in. The volleyball facility here at Tennessee is adjacent. The soccer stadium here, softball venue is directly behind our press box too. Ryan Brown in for the first time for North Carolina. Dakota Brown returns for Tennessee. And O'Rourke back into the game after scoring that goal in the 57th and getting as much of a breather as Tennessee could afford to give. And I'll say this about Clermont, missed one game last year. They sat her down after the Georgia game, and it is, can you be more physical in space? And it was almost a, hey, let's get right, and then play into the final stages of the season. I'm not saying that one moment makes all the difference on a night like this, but you can see a more complete center back. Ball through, flicked high, comes all the way out past Kennedy. Ball kept alive by Brown. Kennedy lofted directly at Norris. You and I had the Tennessee-Kentucky game last year. Played the last 30 minutes and then started the rest of the way, Norris.
And she's been very decisive in her decisions tonight, whether she's going to come off proactively and protect the area. More of a reactive goalkeeper wants to set back and defend the goal really well.
Popped over toward Raff. Angles this back and it's number 2 for Shea. Oh, it's Dreamland on Rocky Top. Number 2 over number 1, 2 goals to 0.
It was the one criticism all year for Tennessee Volunteers last season is they cannot get in product. It starts with Kaden Norris, decides to go long. It's Shea Rourke. Look, she drags across 2 defenders here on this second ball, not allowing her to turn. There's pressure and there's space underneath. One long ball releases Miller. Miller gets her head up and O'Rourke continues her run, uses the outside of her boot to redirect this one past Brooks, but it was Rourke who started it. Support underneath and Miller getting the ball out wide, delivered a perfect cross into the run of O'Rourke. One touch tap in and gives Tennessee a little bit of cushion and insurance here in the second half.
Shea O'Rourke's first brace since 2022 with South Carolina against Tennessee. And now has done it against North Carolina. Tennessee have never beaten the nation's #1 ranked team. They've only ever beaten number 5, which they've done 3 times and haven't done now in 4 years. And the last time they did it, it was to win the SEC tournament against Arkansas. Freifeld. Box comes in, another defender for Tennessee.
And again, it's the defensive back that Tennessee has been prosperous tonight. They continue to control that area just on the edge of their penalty box. Haven't allowed Carolina opportunities to get faced up on the end line, looking to pull back those targeted passes across the face.
Hey, get everybody up! Everybody up!
What does this mean for Tennessee?
It feels like that all this work in the last few years under Joe Kerr is finally coming to fruition. They had to start last season in preseason, which, by the way, was 2 weeks shorter, with 16 or 17 new players, he said, and then they add 3 more, only 3 more this year. They had some transfers come in the spring, and they were allowed opportunities to work on their identity, refine their shape. They've reconfigured their structures and have the same philosophies, but now you see all of that hard work really coming to fruition. It feels like this Tennessee team could be on the precipice of something really special here.
And for North Carolina, fair to say, blip on the radar for now.
It's a tough day, and what you expect in game one. It's a little bit clunky, and you've got a bunch of youngsters playing in some of their first collegiate minutes, making some individual errors, and this is going to be a team that grows game after game after game.
Thomas, ball slid away. Bradley couldn't maintain. Floated out toward midfield. It's a matter of time now. They know it. This is a long time coming for Joe Curtin, Tennessee. And the countdown is on. Bradley from range. Tennessee, one of their most famous wins, take down the reigning national champion on opening night. An experienced debutante, a legacy program looking for that affirmative victory. And for the first time since 2002, the reigning national champion fall in their opening game. You'd have to go back 23 years for the last instance, Santa Clara and Stanford. And Joe Curtin, Tennessee, with Shea O'Rourke's brace, their most famous win under Kurt's tutelage.
Well, the magic question was going to be, what is Tennessee going to do with a much more complete, dynamic complement of attacking profiles? And could they get into good territories and derive more opportunities from that territory? Tonight they did. They were efficient with their chances, and they turned that narrative on its head. This could be the start of some real confidence and a good run of form for the Lady Volunteers.
Some painful moments in this rebuild. Always competitive, but still looking for that win that really tells you Tennessee is a team to be feared. Rest assured, Vols fans, every single team in the country is aware of this result tonight. What a remarkable win for Tennessee, and what a return to the college game and debut at Tennessee for Shea O'Rourke. Try and put this into words. It's Mike and Jill in the booth. What an incredible performance by you and the group.
Yeah, it's just great to be back on the field, and like with this team, we played so hard, and you could see the energy out there. This team was together tonight, and that's what produced goals. So, really excited.
Shea, you are a goal scorer and the perfect piece to this Tennessee puzzle, the missing piece. Why come to Tennessee?
I mean, the environment, like, we want to win games, and you can see on the field, we all wanted to win tonight, so I just wanted to be in that environment, and I couldn't ask for anything else.
You left South Carolina for Texas A&M, and then an injury takes you entirely out of the 2024 season. All the moments that no one saw. Try and describe this feeling tonight.
I mean, it's the best feeling ever, coming back from an injury. I mean, what can you ask for our first game and get some goals? I was really happy out there.
First ever win for Tennessee against a #1 ranked team. How's that sound?
That's incredible. I mean, we'll take it. Let's keep doing it, so love it.
Shea, appreciate the time. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Shea O'Rourke already looking good in checkerboard kits. 11 goals at South Carolina and scores 2 in her Tennessee debut. For Jill Lloyd and our entire VFL Films team here in Knoxville, Mike Watch saying thanks for watching. Coming up next, the SEC Now crew has a lot to break down. We'll see you on Sunday for Arkansas Notre Dame. Until then, so long.